new version 1.88 Legends Quest plugin and some of the features. In the previous videos, we looked at using the special effects plugin standalone, and also a video where we looked at the Legends Quest plugin advanced features. Now we're going to look at a small scenario or a small quest where we combine the two. So what I've got here is a prefab that I downloaded from the vault, and I downloaded it a while ago, so I once again, my memory fails me on who made it, but again, if you're watching this video, mad props to you. It's a great little castle entrance, kind of stronghold area where there's a road leading up, um, and you've got a, just kind of big dwarven stronghold doors kind of thing, and I guess in the side of a mountain or whatever. Yeah, so it looks pretty cool, and so we're going to use this. So yeah, thank you to the contributor. If I find out who was the person that made this, I'll throw up a comment in the forum about it. Anyway, let's continue on and get right in and show you what I've done in preparation for this. So our scenario that we're going to create here is basically, this is a castle under siege. You're a soldier or whatever, and you're trying to help out the military or the militia or whatever who's trying to lay siege to the castle, and they want to try and get in through these big doors. The problem is these big doors are sealed, they're too big to break down, so you need to find a way to get them unlocked and opened. What we'll have is we've got a couple of the guards laying around. Now, of course, you in a real world, you'd have to, pretty this up with, soldiers fighting and, damage and all kinds of things going on. You can have some, have two teams fighting or whatever. But I just threw in just like a couple of guys just standing around here for filler. But again, kind of ignore the fact that there doesn't look like there's much going on. We have to imagine that there's, this is a big battle scene, and we're in the midst of the battle, and most of the enemy have retreated in behind these doors, and we got to get in after them. So we're going to have a little commander kind of guy standing here, and he'll be the guy who will offer the quest. He'll be looking for your help to try and get the door open. And they've discovered this kind of magical control panel here that they think will, is how what they use to actually unlock this door. So we'll get that there. Also, the control panel for our quest, we're going to suggest that it needs an item for it to work, and that item is secretly hidden in this castle area here somewhere. And you have to go find it. Once you find the item, you can use it on the control panel and unlock the doors. The item itself, we're going to put down here behind this gate that I've got. And I've just set this little pedestal thing up here just to kind of see if it would fit right. But what we're going to do is have a little secret compartment in this pedestal. You're going to come along and click on the pedestal and search it, and find the gem or whatever that's going to unlock the big gates. The only problem is these gates here are reinforced and locked as well, so you have to unlock these. And how we're going to do that is we're going to have a series of levers here, and it's going to work like a combination lock. And once you have the combination, these gates will unlock. So we'll do that, and I guess the next question is, how do you get the combination? So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we've captured an enemy soldier, and we're going to throw him in this like little mock-up prison here, and you can use some intimidate or diplomacy or bribe him to give you the combination for this gate. So it's going to be, in order to accomplish all this, we're going to use the Legends Quest plugin to create the quest and incorporate the Legends Special Effects plugin to do all the effects, such as getting this door unlocked, the levers for the combination, and of course getting these big doors to open up for us. So we're gonna get started and begin by actually creating a brand new quest. So we'll go plugins and Legends Spawn plugin. Again, I have everything installed in here. Oh, getting interrupted by someone important, so I have to pause the video 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I was just interrupted there. So yeah, as we were saying, let's start in on the quest itself. So let's fire up the quest plugin. We'll go File, New Quest. And as I was saying, I'm not even sure if I managed to say it or not, but this module I already have the quest plugin installed on it, so it's pretty straightforward stuff. We don't need to go through that again. So let's create a brand new quest. We're just going to call it the Castle Door. You know, I'm not going to be creative with this, just, you know, actually I'm not going to give a goal or reward, just some experience, you know, level 1, pretty simple. Yes, as I was saying, I'm not going to be creative with this. I just want to throw it together so that you can see how it works, how a quest will work with the special effects plugin, how you can combine them to enhance your quests to make them a little bit better. So we'll just call this Castle Door, NPC 1. We're going to create a new NPC. It's going to be Commander Joe, and he has a pre-quest one-liner of we must get this door opened. And he's like, after you open the door, get it all finished, he's like, thank you for your help. The battle continues. Something like that. And so we'll start in with his quest offer. So he just says, you there. He's kind of a busy guy. Adventurer is calling out to you. Our assault on the castle has failed. Failure. These doors seem to be magically imbued and are unbreakable. We must find a way to open them, but we're at a loss because they don't know much about magic. They're soldiers. Our soldiers have captured one of the enemy and are holding him near the front gates across the moat. See if you can find any useful information. So there you go. He wants you to go talk to the prisoner that they've got and see if you can get anything out of him to help with these pesky doors. Go to the rampart back across the moat and see if you can find any useful information from the captured enemy. That might help us open this door. There we go. Now, of course, once you get the door opened, he's going to want to say thanks. By the gods, you've done it. Here, take this as a reward for your work. We'll have this castle taken in no time now. Yep. Pretty simple stuff. We'll just stop that from being annoying. And yeah. Okay, there we go. Better, much better. Okay, so he only has one objective that really has nothing to do with the special effects plugin or anything yet. All he wants you to do is go talk to this prisoner. So it's going to be very simple. Speak to an NPC. So the objective is going to be speak with the prisoner. And you're going to speak to NPC 2. We're going to have, I always like to hide the quantity if I'm only having a quantity of 1. So I'll always turn that one on. And that'll be it. Then we move on to NPC 2, and he will be a enemy prisoner, or we'll just call him prisoner. We know he's the enemy, and he's just like, leave me alone. And he's like, so he's helped you. So his post-quest one-liner is you've got the door open, and he's helped you. And all is well. God, I thought that was turn that off. That's really annoying. Let me just mute that. There, much more betterer. So he's going to say, I hope you get what you want. And he's just not very nice at all. He's not helpful. So he doesn't want to help you right away, so we're going to put in some reluctance here. You want me to tell you how to open the doors? I don't think so. Just because I've been captured doesn't mean I'm going to become a traitor yet. However, if you're successful in getting this information out of him, he says, fine, I'll talk. You will need to get the locking gem from the other rampart near here. It's protected by a gate with a lock. You'll need to open it and open it by using the combination, and he tells you 2, 3, 5, 5, and 7, and 7. 2. That's not a 3. 2, 3. It doesn't really matter. 2, 3, 5, and 7. That's better. I like that better. You're on your own now. So he tells you the combination 2, 3, 5, and 7. And so now you got to go over and unlock the gate. So he has some objectives for you, and it's interesting. These are not really objectives for him. These are objectives while you're, performing tasks while your current step is NPC2. So the first thing you're going to need to do is obtain the locking gem that he's talking about here. So actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not even going to go through objectives first. Let's finish this reluctance piece here. So if you fail your reluctance check, if you try and do a diplomacy or something on him and you fail, he's not going to tell you anything. And that's what we'll write. I'm not going to tell you anything. You never know who might be listening. And then I'm done for. There are spies everywhere. So something like that. You can just come right out and bribe him if you want. Give him 50 gold and he'll just tell you. We can do a diplomacy check. Maybe a DC, I don't know, 12. Or you can intimidate him. He's already afraid, so intimidating. Might be a DC 12. Yeah, maybe diplomacy is like DC 14. And if you fail, you have to wait a minute to try again. And if you succeed, you get 25 experience. It's pretty straightforward stuff. A one-liner, so if you try to talk to him again before that minute is up, he's going to say something like, leave me alone. I thought I heard someone listening in. So maybe, as his clue to say, come back later kind of thing. Alright, so that's done. Now his objectives. The first objective is going to be obtain that locking gem that he's talking about. So we'll just hit add, and it's going to be loot a placeable, and it's going to be obtain the locking gem. And the placeable object is going to be a pedestal. And we'll just create a copy of that. And we're going to use a gem. Let's just call it a ruby. And we'll use this as our locking gem. And we'll have one of those for you to get. So you're going to get this ruby out of this pedestal. The only problem is this pedestal is behind that lock gate. So we'll deal with that in a minute. So this will be the very first objective, so we don't need to hide it right away. We want this to be the first thing we're going to do. It's not a prime objective or anything like that, because once we get our pedestal, once we get our locking gem, we still have to do something with it. However, when you are finished it, why don't we hide the objective? We'll hide the quantity and we'll do a no inventory check. Now this one's going to be important for this particular quest, because when we finish the quest, if we don't have this checked, he's going to see if we have this locking gem. We're going to change the name of this to say locking gem too later. So the commander at the very end, is what he does is whenever you have objectives where you have to obtain items, they usually check your inventory to make sure you have these items. However, in this particular case, we're going to use this locking gem on another placeable, so we don't want him to check for its presence in our inventory, so we'll say no inventory check. Now when you finish this objective, you're going to go on to objective 2. So we'll have to show that one and activate it. And that's pretty much it for this. It's a pretty straightforward objective, so we'll finish that and move on to objective 2 that we're going to have at the start hidden, but we're going to need to show once the player gets the gem. So we'll say finish, and we'll select another objective. Now this one is going to be put an item in something, so we're going to take this locking gem and put it in that control panel. So our objective for this is going to be use the gem on control, something like that, and the item for this is going to be our control panel, and we're going to create a copy of that. Not the lever, actually. It's going to be the panel. And we're going to use our existing locking gem, which we currently called a ruby, so let's ruby it. And we're going to need one, and no, we're not going to create a copy. This is going to be the one we're actually going to use. And we're going to want the, what do we want? We want the VFX FNF screen shake. So when you put the locking gem in the control panel, we're going to have the doors open up, and of course when that happens we're going to want the screen to shake as well. You know, big rumbling doors are going to be opening up here, so we'll throw that in for effect. So just to review again, what we've got is we're going to create a copy of an existing placeable, one of the built-in blueprints, and use that. We'll probably change the name of it when we're done with this. We're going to reuse this ruby, which again we're going to rechange the name to locking gem in our blueprints, and so this is the ruby from objective 1. And we don't need to create a copy of that because we're actually going to, this is already an original, or not original, it's already a copy. And I know this because I selected the module, sort it by module, so I wouldn't get the built-in ones. And then we're going to have a screen shake. Now, of course, as we said before, we're going to need this one hidden at the very beginning and inactive. It's not going to, again, this one's not going to be prime because it doesn't really matter, because we do want to go back, and it's going to be the last step anyway, except, you know, returning to the commander to talk to him. We're going to hide it when it's done. We're going to hide the quantity, and we're going to make this a party objective as well. So if we're in a group, we don't need each party member to deposit the locking gem into the control panel, because once they do, the door's going to be open, so it's kind of pointless for everybody else to do it too. So we'll call this a party objective. When we have this selected like this, anybody who has the locking gem in their inventory will lose it if they're in a group with the person who actually performed it, so they'll just get it removed from them automatically as if they had put it in, and they'll get credit for it as well. Now, once this one is done, we're going to show and activate Objective 3. Now, Objective 3 is going to be pretty simple. You've opened the door, so all you want to do now is return to the commander, speak to him, and get your reward. So this is where we're going to throw in some alternate notice here, rather than the default, you know, locking gem placed on control panel. We're going to say something along the lines of the door creaks open. Something like that. Upon inserting the locking gem into the controls, the great doors shudder and creak. A loud click can be heard, and slowly they swing open. There you go. So that gives you some information of what just happened when you put that in. Now here's something new that we're going to do. If we remember from our previous videos with the special effects plugin, we would normally, you know, crossing triggers or clicking on placeables to actually set flags. And we do that outside the quest plugin. However, in this particular case, these doors are going to be unlocked and opened by the special effects plugin, of course, when a particular flag is turned on. How do we know which flag or when that flag is going to get turned on? Well, we don't want a trigger because that doesn't make sense. The player just wouldn't even have to do the quest. They just cross the trigger and open the door. We wouldn't want this control panel to be just like a clickable one like we did in the last video, because then the player wouldn't have to do the quest. They would just, you know, walk over and click the control panel and the doors would open. We want this flag to get set because we've performed this step, because we've used the gem. And this is where the set area flag on completion section comes in. This means that when a person finishes this particular objective of the quest, a flag that the special effects plugin can pick up will be set. And we're going to choose flag 8. And you're going to see why I chose that particular flag in a little bit. But when a player, any player in this area finishes this particular quest objective, the area's flag 8 is going to be turned on. Okay? That's what that means. So we're going to have a special effect looking for this flag 8, and when it's turned on, we're going to open the door. So let's finish this objective, and then add one final objective. That final objective is going to be, of course, speak to an NPC. It's going to be speak to the commander to get your thanks and experience rewards. It's going to go back and speak to NPC 1 again, and the other objectives must be completed first. Of course, we're not going to want this listed in the player's journal right away.